Throughout the course of the NBA's recent history, or maybe even sports in general, we have seen athletes come back with a chip on their shoulder after having a kid, which is understandable. They have newfound motivation for their family and are quite literally a different person with different motives and energy for life itself. I'm sure we all remember Fred VanVleet a couple years back going crazy after he had his child. The most recent addition to this group is a young star from the Houston Rockets who we know as Jalen Green, who has been going off since expecting a child with celebrity Drea Michelle. But before his recent hot stretch, Jalen was not really popping off how we expected him to. Jalen Green was a highly touted number 2 pick in the 2021 NBA draft as an explosive scorer with crazy athleticism coming out of high school and the G League Ignite. Although he did not have terrible rookie and sophomore seasons, he did not have as good of seasons as maybe you would have thought. He would have many up and down moments, but for a number 2 pick, we all wanted him to be more consistent. In comparison to his draft class, guys like Cade Cunningham, Scottie Barnes, Evan Mobley, and Franz Wagner were all performing better than Jalen up to this point pretty much. Some of this was causing NBA fans around the world to compare him to guys and players like Jordan Clarkson and Jamal Crawford, and more guys who are like this. Not number 2 pick material, but could get you a bucket and heat up, but would never amount to a star player. Fast forward to this season, and it wasn't always peachy for Jalen Green in this year either. He fell out of the rotation a little bit earlier in this year. Although it wasn't completely, his minutes did take a dip. His narratives around his game looked like it started to affect him as just being a streaky scorer with minimal other effective elements to his game on either side of the ball. People will also talk about his personality and how he paints his nails, or about that one video, which I'd rather not speak on that. All of that to say, he was playing a little bit better going into the All-Star break, sustaining a spot in the rotation again, but since the beginning of his child's birth, this has been simply one of the best players in the league. Since the announcement of the pregnancy with Drea Michelle and Jalen Green on March 8th of 2024, Jalen Green promptly had been averaging 29 points per game, 6 rebounds, and 3 assists per game as well. In these said 8 games, he was also shooting 45% from the 3-point line, which is absolutely absurd, and 52% from the field. For comparison, this is a huge jump from his season averages of now 19 points on 42% from the field and 33% from the 3-point line, and these stats are also inflated due to his recent tear, so those stats were also looking a little bit worse. The most important element of this recent streak, however, is just how much the Rockets have been winning games while Jalen Green has been going off and being the best player on a winning team. The Rockets are 9-1 in their last 8 games, and they are 10-1 in the month of March, which makes them the hottest team in the league along with the Boston Celtics, who are also 9-1 over their last 10 because they seemingly never lose. To add on to this, Jalen has looked way more confident and has granted us with some of the best highlights of the season during this crazy stretch of basketball. He has thrown down crazy dunks on opponents, he's broken other players' ankles, and he's hitting no-look threes now almost on a regular basis. So it isn't hard to see that this isn't only a player that's different on the court with his ability, but he's also in a different space mentally as well with his confidence. Now to just go on some of the breakdown of Jalen Green, he's out on the transition, and he's on the wing. He's going to catch a good lob from Amen Thompson. This is how he's been eating a lot of easy buckets during this stretch, as the Rockets are one of the best teams in pace and fast break points in the month of March, which is just helping Jalen Green get his game even that much more better. We can see here he's in a semi-transition, and it's a purposeful attack, and he used to be someone that kind of just flails his body into defenders and not really going to seek that attention, but now he's going in with it. He's using his athleticism better than he ever has, and he's finishing again in semi-transition, or really just transition this time one-on-one with Hendricks. He just goes right up on him and finishes with a good control on his body and the layup. And he's always been able to do this. He's always been able to create a difficult shot, and because he has a good handle for a shooting guard and he has so much lift on his jump shot and he has a good form, he's able to hit tough shots like this pretty much on a nightly basis now. And on this play, this is what he's been doing a lot, especially from that left wing, is his 3-point shot. As I said earlier on in the video, 45% from the 3. He has been a flamethrower from 3 in the month of March. Again, this guy's hands are down. He makes him bite with the hezzy just a little bit on the first one. Hand still wasn't up, and then boom, another 3-pointer from the same exact spot. He's coming down again, same defender. This guy's not really taking good defense, but again, no look 3 as he's been doing. He has been absolutely lighting it up from 3 from pretty much everywhere now. And on this one, not making the game harder than it needs to be. He's going under the screen because this is the scouting report on Jalen Green. You don't want to kind of give him a runway to the rim, but right now his 3-pointer is falling at a great rate. This is the first bucket of the game versus the Washington Wizards on another game where he had 40, and he had 40 in that last game versus the Jazz. But again, now they're running him off pin downs in the corner, top of the key. Doesn't matter. His shot is now falling. This is something else that he can do. It's a step back three off of the pullback. Another tough shot, but this is the ability, and this is why you drafted someone like Jalen Green to make tough shots like this. This time he gets around him, hits him with the spin back dribble, and this is another tough shot from the mid range this time. And these are shots that are now maybe he's more comfortable with. I do remember him taking some of these shots in his rookie and sophomore years and missing them and being labeled as a bad shot guy, but sometimes you just may have to grow into those shots. On this one, he denies the pick and roll, gets the defense leaning, and this is one of his best highlights as he goes in with the acrobatic finish. And we know that Jalen Green is good for finishing on top or under you, whichever way that you want it. All in all, I would say that we have to give a hats off to Jalen Green. He's had the best stretch of his career and looks to be in the same conversations of the best players in his draft class as he should be as a number 2 overall pick. All in all, the Rockets are still probably a ways away from getting into the play-in, as they are about 3 games back of the Warriors and the Lakers, who are really trying to win every game now to get into the playoffs. But it is a very positive trend for them to be winning so many games in bunches, with Jalen Green as their main guy, and alperen şengün, who is arguably the best player on this team, on the sidelines. Jalen's resurgence may be a turning point for him in his career to be consistently a star player for the foreseeable future. He's always had the talent and the athleticism to make difficult shots, finish above and below the rim, and put up high scoring outcomes as well. If he can stay like this and play like this while having alperen şengün on the court, then the Rockets will have one of the best young duos in the league and will have a much better shot at making their first playoff appearance since the bubble in 2020.